Let's review rounding. Don't forget to check in your journal for your poem that helps us remember how to round. The first number we're going to start is 677. We're going to round this to the nearest hundred. The 6 is in the hundreds place. So we look to that number, look to the right. We're looking, is that 5 or more or 4 or less? The 7 is 5 or more, so that raises the 6 to a 7, raises it up 1 to 7, and everything behind turns to a 0. So 677 rounded to the nearest hundred is 700. Now if we look at 4,526 rounded to the nearest 10, the 2 is in the hundreds place. Look to the right, that is a 6, that's more than 5. So that 6 raises the 2 up 1 to 3. So my new number would be 4,530. Notice everything to the left of the tens place stays the same. Everything to the right of the tens place turned to a 0. 573 rounded to the tens place. 7 is in my tens place. Look to the right. That 3 falls under 4 or less, so we let it rest. So my new number would be 570. Now for 930,998, we are going to round this to the nearest thousand. 0 is in the thousands place. Look to one place to the right, and we have a 9. That will be large enough to raise the 0 to a 1. So this would be 931,000. Everything behind that 1 will turn to a 0. The same rules apply when we're rounding with decimals. Let's round 75 and 8/10 to the nearest 1, or we could say to the nearest whole number. So 5 is in the ones place. Look to the right. There's an 8. The 8 raises the 5 to a 6. So my answer would be 76.0. Or I can write that just as 76. Let's try 753 thousandths. Let's round this to the nearest hundredth. The 5 is in the hundredths place. Look to the right. The 3 cannot raise the 5. So my answer would be 700 thousandths. Let's change that. I'm sorry, that should be 750 thousandths, or I can simply write that as 75 hundredths. And we have 23 and 9 thousandths, and we're going to round that to the nearest hundredth. That second 0 is in the hundredths place, so we have 23 and 10 thousandths. We could also write that, we can also take off that 0 and just write it as 1/100th. Now let's round 6 and 98 hundredths. Let's round it to the nearest tenth. The 9 is in the tenths place. go to the right. Well, that 8 raises that 9, but then we have to see that that would be 7.00, or we could simply write it as 7.